All right, y'all. I'm not wearing a mask because of COVID. I'm wearing a mask because of this. So, after a lot of deliberation, trying to figure out what was going to be the best move for this, once we got everything kind of gutted out of it, serious mold problem all up in the walls, in the insulation, in the framing. It's really bad. So it's entirely possible that there was water coming through from some of the other places around and getting down inside here. And because there was so much crap kind of piled through here, it was just growing behind everything. So it's coming down. It's coming down. It's going to come down with fury. So we're getting prepped for that right now. So get ready. We're rolling that intro. That's better. I always love seeing these things because obviously I put a lot of work into the soil here and making sure that this grass was super cool and good and beautiful. And you can see, this thing has been driven on and just destroyed. And the grass still came out super freaking green and super thick, like no big deal. Grass is resilient and it's amazing. But there's still there's a foot or better of roots in there. And it's just so cool to see what it really looked like over the length of time that I've been working on this whole thing. So that's just a side note. We're gonna destroy this thing now. Power's shut off, there's no water up here. It's about to come down. Oh yeah, you can see the mold in there. Oh, that's nasty. Most definitely. Oh yeah. Oh, nice. all inside there. thing was built so freaking well. It's really like causing me kind of a lot of anxiety to just kind of tear it down and watch it go. Just sort of have to deal with it because it is really bad. It's really bad. Anyway, yeah, don't mind me. It's fun to watch, but it just seems like such a terrible waste. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that have a lot to say about that. But it just didn't seem salvageable at that point. We had a few people come up to try to, well, they never made it up, called crane companies, had a few other people who were interested in it, called crane companies, trying to find somebody who could do rigging to lift that thing up and get it moved. But then as soon as anybody saw the inside of it, they're like, yeah, no, that's not going to work. So, just to give everybody an idea of the size of that, it had a vaulted ceiling on the inside that was close to 10 feet. It was like 9 feet, maybe 9.5. It was probably actually 10 feet to the center beam, and the thing was kind of like 10 by 11, maybe 11 by 12, outside to outside. So it was a fairly good sized little, if you want to call it a shed. It wasn't really a shed. So the history of that thing is the former owner used that as a poker room. So when I bought the place, the whole thing smelled like cigar smoke, and it was musty and it was gross. And I pulled everything out of it, and I put kills down all over the place and just tried to kind of rehab it. And I used that for my office for a while. And then it kind of was changed and modified and turned into a little tiny home. And Travis, the guy that's operating that, so he was living inside there, and that was his little tiny home. So all these electrical wires that are back here, there were lights up in the back originally, but those have been kind of disconnected for a while. However, I was looking at some of these other ones and went inside to check and see if any other circuits had blown, and they had. And just because the way this crap was wired, there were a couple extra breakers, so we popped some on this. And now I'm gonna have to go trace them back into the inside of the house and nut them off and get everything working back inside that got affected by that. So I have a few potential exit points for those wires, and I think they're all back in this hole right here. There's some stuff that we had moved around for the new this like new little butler's pantry thing up there, where it's like a little utility room. But there's a conduit right there. It's got some outdoor wire, runs over to the side, and I'm pretty sure that this guy, see, that heads outside. I just got to get down here and pull on some wires and see if I can find what's what. All of this is new within the last few years up here, but yeah, this will be fun. Okay, so I've tracked these back to junction boxes. I've got one of the outdoor ones going here. What's upsetting about this is this house was built by an electrician, and one of those outdoors is tied into the fridge circuit. So lame. I got another one here that ran outside that was tied into the garbage disposal, and I'm just sort of working through what some of the other ones are. So I'm gonna go crack into some of these J boxes here and disconnect all of that gray wire. Anywhere you see one of those, I gotta go through and knock those out so that everything else works the way that it's supposed to. So, you know, I got that going for me, which is nice. Okay, so that's one down. Got another one over here. I'm looking for like, there'll be 3 more after this. I know where one is. It's actually off of a 3-way light switch
So that one's going to be a little different. I'm going to actually have to disconnect that up above in the wall at the switch. So that's not that big a deal. But the other ones, yeah, I got one here and then a couple more to track back and see where they run outside, and then we should be able to power back up. Okay, that was a super fun adventure. So the power is officially disconnected. This seems like kind of a moot point. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and trim down these wires now. Since everything is killed from the inside, all the junction boxes have been wire nutted back off, and then I'm gonna have my electrician over here when we're adding a couple other circuits to pull from these, and then we'll get these kind of pulled out of here and try to find what else isn't working. Because right now, we would have hit something in here because the landscape lights aren't working. That's okay, not really the end of the world. Should all be stuff I can figure out later, but we're gonna snip these and get them out of the way. All right, so that's the end of this episode of Total House Destruction. Hopefully maybe now you guys can see what the idea is here and how this golf green is gonna end up working out in this area and over here behind me. Let's see this lovely chunk of turf right here. There's well over 1 million views of this grass. That's pretty cool. Still, look at this. She's a beaut. Strong and thick as hell. Even after all this fun stuff. So anyway, that's it. I'm signing off. Stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. All of that kind of good stuff. I'll see you guys real soon. Later.